Um, so just to tell you a little bit about myself and what the organization I represent, NAZ, does. Um, so I'm Sanjay Kumar, and I am gay and also living with HIV for the past 20 years. And I'm a psychotherapist and have been working in the gay community for almost 20 years, providing services one way or another through either through NAZ or other organizations. And currently I'm running the counselling service at NAZ, and NAZ is an organization that provides sexual and mental health and well-being services for global majority populations living in London, and also to those living outside London from sometimes. But our remit is really for London. But because there are very few services across the UK, sometimes we also extend the service to others. So we see people from across the spectrum of sexualities and gender presentations, and also various statuses of living in the UK. So we provide a lot of support services, sexual and mental health support services for asylum seekers, for example, or people from who are refugees in this country as well. And NAZ is named after the first South Asian to die of AIDS in Britain, and it was set up in his honor by Shivanand, also South Asian gay man who got an OBE and is no longer with us. But the organization was set up to provide sexual and mental health services for Black and brown people because they were not being catered to as much as their white-bodied counterparts, basically, in London. And so now the service is offered to South Americans, all of Africa, the Caribbean, people from these parts of the world, the South Asia and Southeast Asia. So, and currently we have 12 counselors on our counseling team, and we offer counseling in various languages. We offer counseling in English, Urdu, Hindi, some of the South Indian languages, Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, Tagalog, Spanish, and Portuguese currently. And our counselors are also from the people groups that we work with. So we want to really give a space where people can see themselves represented, and so that they can come and talk freely about their experiences with race and other discriminations. The first thing that we do offer is a monthly drop-in support group called Dost, run by my friend and colleague Ravi, and I also co-facilitate that. It's a lovely sort of very relaxed and friendly drop-in group, which happens from first Tuesday of every month at the NAZ offices in Hammersmith from 6:30 in the evening to 8:30. And there's some food and socializing as well as that. And the group has come up with some goodwill agreements in which to make the space a safer space for speaking and support. And they've also come up with a series of topics that they wanted to be discussed over the year. So each month there might be a speaker come in or somebody from the own group sharing. There will be discussions. There will be other events like picnics and going out and things as well from time to time. The second thing that we do offer, and this is not just for South Asian queer men, but it's for all South Asians. It's called People Group, PEEPAL. It's the tree under which the Buddha got his enlightenment, and it's a play on the word people as well. And this group is also a monthly support group, which is on the last Thursday of every month. And this is for people living with HIV. So all South Asian men are welcome to this group who are living with HIV. And of course, we have the counselling service, which is available to all South Asian men who have sex with men. We have on our team South Asian men who are gay, and queer. So we would assign you somebody as close to your requirement as possible. So we've come a long way, first of all. But one thing I see that is missing is what we used to have, and there hasn't been any funding for, is residential retreats. So we used to, NAZ along with PACE used to run Masti, which was a weekend workshop bringing queer men together to talk about realities that they're facing, and just going away together, staying overnight, a few days over the weekend, sharing meals, playing games, talking about things that matter to them. Facilitated friendships, really strong networking possibilities. And from it, I know personally there have been people who are now lifelong friends from that, and also people who have found partners, etc. So I think that's something that needs to be resurrected, I think, which would be great to see. So the first thing is not to be afraid to come out of your comfort zone. So I think when you stay within your comfort zone, one tends to not learn or grow. So if you want to sort of evolve and grow, then I would encourage you to step out of your comfort zone, find a group that works for you, because I think it's one of the greatest problems that we face. It tends to be isolation, and isolation then breeds depression, breeds harmful ways of harmful behavior patterns, i.e. alcohol or substance abuse or sexual addiction, so really forming friendships and building yourself a strong support base that supports you and celebrates you in your gender and sexual expression and identity. So where you can be at home, so family of choice, as it were. So I would encourage you to spend time investing in that. And it doesn't have to be a big group. It could be just 2 or 3 or 4 people. There are some people who only have straight friends, for example, or only have girlfriends. I would really encourage people who are stepping out to really step out of their comfort zone. Think of it as an experiment. Think of it as, as something where you can, okay, let me try this group, or let me try that club, or let me try, this social club or that activity. See what works for you and try and build your support network. And once you have that support network, that will give you a bit of I would imagine it give you a bit of a base and a bit of strength to stand in your light. Secondly, I would say reach out to a counseling service and have some counseling. So get yourself some counseling support so that you have this 1 hour once a week where you can just go and explore whatever is going on for you, talk about it with someone, with a professional, so that there is some guidance and facilitation along that way for you, so that you don't have to think that this is a lonely journey by any means, but there's help out there. So reach out for it. That would be my top 2 things I would say right now. So I just wanted to add a little footnote to that. I would encourage you to not be afraid of counseling. Counseling is not just for people with mental illness. There's so much stigma and misinformation around it. Counseling is like going to an emotional gym, just having like a trainer in a gym who would guide you through using the machines. It's basically that, where you go and talk about what your thought patterns are, what your feelings are, what your behavioral patterns are, and just to sort of explore what is working for you, what is not working for you, what might your options be, to not be afraid of this process, but rather to just see it as a gift that you can give yourself in order to evolve and grow, and to step into your own life. Because sometimes we can trick ourselves by the conversations we have in our own head, and for us to just vocalize it sometimes, and for it to be heard and repeated back to us, and we can hear ourselves in a new way. So, and that could be really helpful. So I'd like to encourage you to access counseling services. If you can afford them, why not? If you can't afford them, there are organizations like NAZ who provide you free counseling services, about 12 sessions. In terms of what I think is missing, I think in the last 10 to 15 years, we're seeing South Asian men becoming more visible in the community, coming out a lot more, accessing services a lot more. But what we don't have is a lot of them coming to the services and seeing them represented there in terms of their the counselors or the service providers. It tends to be most of the time tends to be white-bodied, and so what is missing, I suppose, is more professionals from the South Asian queer community to step up and offer whatever they can for the community, and make themselves more visible. I think that's because people are becoming a lot more visible. I would call for people to, if you would like to become a counselor, please feel free to pursue that. I think because we do need a lot more queer South Asian therapists. So how can people access our services? We would welcome you to make use of our counseling services and our drop-in support services, those or people, whichever suits you best. You can find us on our website, which is www.naz.org.uk. And /Wellbeing, you can access the counseling service as well. Or you could just email me directly, sanjay@naz.org.uk. Again, those happens first Tuesday of every month, and people last Thursday of every month in the evening, 6:30 to 8:30. We look forward to seeing you and seeing how best we can support you in your own journeys.